Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Thank you for joining us in the circle of light. Yeah, it's really, I have no idea. Again, I come into these sometimes and don't have a clue about what we'll be talking about, but isn't that what Jesus promises? I will tell you everything to say. You don't have to plan anything or think about anything or know anything. You can just rest with me. And in that moment, I'll tell you what to say. There's so much happiness in that. I think might have talked about before, like I was like a trainer for Tony Robbins for a while, and there was so much training on how to speak, and how to talk and how much preparation and how this and how that. And wow, it's really nice to drop all that and just let Jesus. That had its purpose too, of course. It had a purpose too. Because I think at that time I could see there were fears about, and there seems to be, this whole idea of public speaking somehow. That also makes it easier for Jesus to speak for us. Yeah, another part of personal identity to look at there. So just be with the divine light, and then we can just relax. It's so amazing, and just hand over more and more to Jesus and see things come in. We just last week, I was hearing from Jesus to, okay, so maybe we'll put this out on Amazon, a new covenant. So people want to buy a book on demand and have it. Say, okay, and do layout, and okay, am I to do that? What to do? And within 2 days or 3 days, I got an email from a publisher that publishes A Course of Love. He's such a beautiful being. Like, what a holy encounter that's been last couple of times, asking about him about things. And, oh, I'll help you with that in terms of giving us guidance and resources. It's just, you start seeing how things are just provided. The more we ask, the more we receive in love and easiness, and if it serves. And when we follow that light, and then it's a holy encounter too. It's like a collaboration, and it becomes, they used to say this in spiritual community. I didn't know what that was really in a way. What were they talking about? This is just the backdrop. Backdrop for what? And now I understand. The whole world's the backdrop for all created for me to see what's true. For the one, not me personally, but the one to see what's true. The backdrop, it's for us to join in these mighty companionships and purpose together to see what's true. And it was so amazing because, of course, I hadn't really spoken to anyone about this. Sometimes you get instructions and you just don't know what they are. And I got this instruction because I hadn't thought about angels in years. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how this works, but like over the last 2 weeks, angels this and angels that. And of course, today he starts talking about angels going down and communicating with this being in Argentina, and just all this stuff like being typed, like thousands of pages, and they're editing that book. He said he's just going off the rails with reading this book. What was so interesting about that, like I hadn't said anything about angels, and now they're like everywhere. And I never gave second thoughts to angels. Angels we have heard, but you don't know what is that? You don't think about them that much. I mean, some beings talk to them, obviously, but sort of like wasn't in the celestial realm. So I hear from Jesus, stay with Ariel and Gabriel. That's it. That's my assignment. It's like, what? And see that everyone, and I'd always heard everyone has guardian angels. Everyone, and you hear about angels and they came down, birth of Christ and all this stuff. And then when you're getting instruction, okay, and all of a sudden angels start showing up. What is that? And then you start saying, no, that's not messing around. that whatever these are, and they are not of this world, you know, and it's just very follow Jesus. That's all. If he tells you to do something, and if he tells you to listen to angels, then you listen to angels. Yeah, it's just whatever's most helpful. I just say, okay, yes. There's so much happiness and so much love, and thank you, Jesus. And then we come together and we focus on infinite light. They're bearers, they're light bearers. They're different from us. Jesus talks about them in your old text. That was like a surprise. There are messengers of God, another messenger, not of consciousness. It's really quite extraordinary. So much love in that. You know, definitely another way of showing me I don't know a thing. Just say yes. No, don't judge how it looks, that's for sure. And follow unequivocally. That's what I'm learning. So it feels really good to open the circle of infinite light with the reminder that all there is light. And that in every minute of every day, there's still light. Still infinite light. And we can see this because we're light beings and we gather every day. What could be more powerful than to honor what's here? Infinite light. And focus the mind on light to see what's true and see how readily every question is answered. Even we can ask the light, are angels real? And hear what the light says. Infinite light. And how we all have we can ask the light, this seems helpful. I asked Jesus, this was helpful to talk about. He says, yes, so obviously it must be, it's for me. In the light of divine being, do angels exist? Do we all have a guardian angels? And hear what the light says. That's so much love. So much love in that. We are offered so much help. Everything's in our favor, including being pure light beings. And we're helped by light, whatever they are, angels, I'm not sure. And we're helped by Christ, the Jesus Christ, the Christ mind. So much help available. That's what I'm seeing. And we start off as infinite beings. We start out by being light. And as part of that extension too, it feels helpful to mention, I did put out a little joining in light, a little light circle for everyone, because light is for everyone. I think I might have mentioned it before. It's now available through a link. Celebrating light together. Oh my gosh. That everyone can see light. Everyone. And we know this to be true. And everyone, you know, it's like my niece. I've talked about my niece before, where she just looks at the light and goes, oh, it's forgiven, you know. It's like the whole course in like less than 15 seconds. And we all can see it, just like we do every day when we come and go, okay, let's just query on the light. And this is a really simple way. You can join with anyone, a symbol of joining. Come together, place all darkness, any idea we have, any emotion, any doubt thought, focus on the light together and place it in the light. This is the simplicity, the speed that Jesus is offering. Instant correction. So it feels really good to just leave some spaciousness today, that just do this mini part of a light circle. We have been doing this. And that is to ask Jesus to show us any doubt thoughts, any strong emotions that have been coming up. and focus first on the light of divine being that's here. And then to place that directly in the light of divine being and see what happens to any thought, feeling, or emotion, even pain. Just place it in the light and see what happens. In the light of infinite being, this is the practice. Focus on light, place it on light. This is true. And it's helpful because just focusing on the light is going to open it up for some of these old, stale, like Buji says, you're carrying a dead fish in your pocket, energies. To start moving. And then the ego is going to go, this is terrible. This shouldn't be happening. This is just all we do. Okay. We don't know anything about that. Like we know nothing. I love that. Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing. We just know nothing. Do you remember that? They're trying to escape the Nazi prison. Hogan's Heroes. Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing. I know nothing. That's a great place to start when these energies start moving. Know nothing. A place is in the light of divine being. It's given for my release. Everything is given for my release and recognition of divine being. It's sort of like a reorganization. It's a consciousness reorg. Now to dumping out that old energy that held perception in place. It starts clearing consciousness. It's like all that buried stuff just clears out. It doesn't have to be that way, but it may occur. So it feels helpful to mention it because Jesus says we don't have to have that any of all because we're divine being. Ta-da. Infinite light. Can infinite light, does it have the power to accept divinity now and say, ta-da, that's it? We can see this. Yet for some, it's just kind of, you can take, it's all the rivers going in the same direction. It's when we try to swim upstream, it's going to hurt. So we're jumping in the river, we're just following the river down and knowing that we got angels, we've got the Christ, we're infinite beings. It's okay to ride the boat. All of us and our puppies and cats too, come with us. And we stay in guidance. And we just joined on a beautiful today, we just coming together to so much willingness to see what's true. Do we do this? Is this given? Is this a celebration of divinity? And what's really beautiful about the light circles, the kind of introductory light circles that I talk about in that handout, it's such an easy way to start listening to spirit. Because we can see it here, like you place whatever it is, I don't know, it feels like you're burning in the light of divine being or anger and just notice what's happening. And very often the experience here, I can speak about my experience directly and it was taught to me from other beings who are doing it too. I could see that the spirit speaks when that's cleared. You're most clear after that objection clears. And so it's really great. Put it in the light and just listen. And that voice for God will just give advice. Jesus just says yes. we're like really receptive after, it's when all that mind noise and all that stuff is going on, the denial part. But when we offer it for forgiveness, you can call it forgiveness, placing in the light, whatever works. And we've seen this, the spirit will give advice. I was just amazed by those reflections, but I guess that's what I needed to see in the prison when I was coaching in prison. And I just stopped having conversations, really. I'd have all these coaching conversations when they'd have be upset about something or really angry and, coach all that and find the belief. And then finally, I just didn't talk about anything. I said, okay, well, how about we just, whatever you're upset about, let's put it in the light. It'd be, what a lesson for me. That's the speed of the correction. Are we willing to accept that kind of speed, our worthiness of that kind of speed? That's what's on offer from Jesus, that reminder, however it works. It doesn't have to be a light circle, but however the willingness works, because that's all it is. It's a symbol for willingness, just like that we have divine power and not to whinge on it. Like he's saying, Jesus telling me, do not tolerate these things. Jesus, are you that? Yes. You're that direct? Yes. Do not tolerate the miscreation. To see that you're creating it and don't tolerate it. I'm no longer willing to accept. Someone's talking about acceptance of what acceptance is. That's a powerful thing to look at, to really understand what divine acceptance means. Divine acceptance means accepting that we are light and ceasing to accept things arising in consciousness that are untrue. As, well, this is just what's happening. And it's like, no, this is what's desired. And therefore, I can look at this with the light of divine being to see what's true right now with this. Jesus is getting really direct with me. So I guess that's what's coming out. It's like, you are a divine being. It's like, yes, sir. But we can't be happy if we're in the limitation zone. Can we? In the light of divine being is honesty. Can we ever be happy in the limit zone? In the stuff ourselves in a shoe zone? In the asteroid belt, whatever you want to call all those ideas that we've desired to have an experience with. All those old memories that arise, they just do not work for us anymore. So we can ask Jesus again to show us the light of divine being. Jesus, will you show me any other denial of divinity today that I need to see? Show me the desire to choose against myself. I want to see that directly. I was talking to him about that, and boy, I could feel the, he like brings it right into awareness. Like, oh, I can feel that itch for wanting to make a choice. Oh, so badly. But at least we see it now. Before we were like hiding from that desire. Oh, I want that desire. Just being fully present. That's what that's the experience here. Show me the desire. So I can, that energy can just, instead of it being like this really concentrated pain, that's like it disperses in consciousness. It's no longer, it releases. Show me and just say yes. I say yes. Okay, I see it. I want that experience, and just be with the wanting of it in the light of divine being. And I go until I just say, Jesus, do I still have this? And he says, no. Do I still have this desire? That's how easy this is. It's when we don't look, we're going to be in a heap of pain. Heap of trouble. Jesus, in the light of divine being, is there anything else that you can show us desire. Yeah, it says it's still helpful to continue to go through a new covenant with the videos. Obviously, the light circles continue to be, but the light circle videos, and just until every belief that he gives is clear. Every desire that's given in chapter 20. You might not follow guidance on that. I don't think you'd be having us do all of it in one day. It's going, and we will have the audio book. So if you're kind of like an audio file and you really like that, we'll have the second audio book coming out relatively soon. And then you can just listen to that, stop it. Okay, I'm going to look, and really be with each. That's what he's telling me to suggest. So it will be fast then, because it's so easy to clear them in the light that way. See where the energies are. So it feels like that's what he would like to say for today. Are there any questions that anyone has that they would like be helpful to hear from the light on? You can hear it for yourself. What I'm realizing is that just sometimes for a time it's helpful to hear it seemingly from a brother, because there's so much fear sometimes of Jesus. I'm not saying that's in this group. I'm just putting it doesn't necessarily have to be true at all. But also it can confirm when you've heard something, it can also confirm that. Would anyone feel that for us to open the floor for questions? I'm willing to do that. Or if you prefer, you can text them to me later. In that case, it feels really good just to sit in a few moments of silence together, asking Jesus just to show us any kind of desire, energy of desire, the desire to deny the light we know that's here. And just place that desire so gently in the light of love that we share. And he's reminding me to say, for me, say that really be with silence, the silence within the light, just be with that. Like honor that. And ask for help from the angels, because they don't communicate in words. They're here to teach us how to be quiet. Words may come out after you. They're really what it seems. To really get used to that silence, the communication with all that is. It's like a gentle way to get used to that silence. I'm asking him if that's for everyone. He says, yes, it is for everyone. Because everyone can recognize this. We can ask this in the light of divine being. Are angels helpful in the spiritual journey? And hear that answer. Light doesn't say no on that. They're very helpful. And I know, I don't know if it's been like for you, but there've been times where I'll get helping from, that's sometimes the point we need to get to, where we'll ask help from anything, everything. We're like on our knees praying so hard, we'll take it from wherever. And that may be the place that we all need to get to, or some of us, to where we're really open up to that humility. Oh, he's reminding me too that choice is arrogance. The desire for choice is really arrogance. With arrogance is just denying ourselves. Actually, that's all it is. I mean, it's not. It's everything he talks about. It's a belief that we're more powerful than God. We know more than God. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, do we know more than God in our direct experience? Can we know? Do we want to really? If we really, really look in the light of divine being, do we actually want to know more than God? Can we be happy ever knowing more than God? Can we ever be happy choosing in our direct experience of light being, having a choice in our equation? Can we ever be happy in the light of divine being and honesty of God? Can we find that? This is the quickest way out. 1, see that we're light, like Jesus says. 2, see that it is impossible to escape the light, even if we want to, like admit it. There is no way not to get away from light. There's like no way. The light is benevolent. It does not have jaws to bite in anywhere that we can find in direct experience. Then say to Jesus, show me, show me, show me every denial. This is such a worthwhile time. And then it's quick. Oh, of course, and follow everything. Yeah, we celebrate the dedication of these mighties that come together, really. We become precious, more and more precious with each passing day. The dedication to focus on light, support each other in focusing on light, and being present with each other should the idea of darkness occur, because sometimes we forget. You know, we could admit that too. Sometimes I forget who I am. And to have a need, because some of us in our life, I was one of those, admittedly, didn't want help for anyone. That not wanting help for anyone is not wanting help from God himself. It was a form of arrogance. You know, it's innocence and arrogance. We can see that in a way, you know, but it's not like a judgmental way to look at it. Does that make sense? We're not looking at with judgment. We're looking at with discernment. So we can see this in ourselves, right? You see the innocence in it, but you see the desire for limitation in it. The hold back, to hold ourselves in a limited state of consciousness. And we've moved beyond that now. We've moved beyond limitation to see what's beyond all limitation. That is a really great movie if you have opportunity to see it, Limitless. We really have more every passing day. I see I really do need Jesus to show me what it means to be a divine being and not really know. Not have any ideas about it, any concepts about it, any concepts about anything. Not know who my brother is. Thank you for coming every day. It's such a blessing. We send you so much love from San Juan Coastal and gratitude for your presence and your dedication to divine light and to bring your light with us every day. It's really extraordinary. The ego cannot take this light. It just cannot. We can see it as soon as you start looking at light and honoring light, being present with the light within, and seeing that no idea we have of ourselves can coexist in this. It's precious indeed. Amen. Love you.